Hello everyone and welcome back to APWC. This month was pretty packed with a lot of movies and shows. So let's talk about the stuff that I watched this month. The Boys Season 5. I completely understand the polarizing reviews this season got, but I still had a good time with it. Homelander losing his powers was one of the biggest highlights because watching him struggle felt weirdly satisfying. They also killed off a bunch of characters, and some of those decisions felt like names were being pulled from a hat. The Gen V build-up deserved better usage, but with What Rising coming next, I am still curious to see where this chaotic universe goes. Next, I watched Daredevil Born Again Season 2 and The Punisher One Last Kill. What an absolute banger. Born Again came in swinging, and The Punisher One Last Kill somehow managed to pack chaos, brutality, and emotion into barely an hour. With the reveal of Matt Murdock as Daredevil,
I am Daredevil.
I think it's time to see what happens next with some new villains, as that's what we are being promised for Season 3. Also, I'm tired with Fisk being the main antagonist. It's been 5 seasons now, for God's sake. On a separate note, I really liked this meme though. Let's move on to the Punisher special. I get the polarizing reactions, but it's less than 60 minutes. What were people expecting? Avengers Endgame level stuff? What a great year for MCU fans with Wonder Man, Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and Doomsday on the horizon. The MCU finally feels like it's back on track. Next, I watched Sapne Vs Everyone Season 2. I genuinely liked Season 1 more because it felt tighter and hit harder emotionally. But then Season 2 decided to casually throw in an ending that completely changed the game. That final stretch came out of nowhere, and now I'm eagerly waiting for Season 3. All eyes on Maestro Ambrish Verma. All I gotta say is, let him cook. Next, I watched The Drama. I absolutely loved this film. It had humor, romance, and as the film suggests, a lot of drama. But the biggest surprise was how good Rob and Zendaya looked together on screen. I mean, whoever decided to pair them together deserves a special mention. Some combinations just work, and this was definitely one of them. Next, I watched If Wishes Could Kill Season 1. A solid show with a genuinely interesting premise, but the horror part is questionable. Maybe the hype raised my expectations too much, but I kept waiting for that one unforgettable moment that never really arrived. To be honest, it entertained me, but I won't be recommending it as much as some other shows. Next, I watched Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. A pretty strong contender alongside its predecessor, and it does a good job carrying the story forward. The action sequences are enjoyable, and the film wastes no time jumping back into the madness. It follows the events of the first movie smoothly without feeling forced. Not better than the original, but definitely not a weak follow-up either. Next, I watched They Will Kill You. The action here was surprisingly good and kept things moving at a solid pace. The whole people coming back to life concept was handled quite well. It creates enough tension without becoming overly complicated. Overall, a fun ride that knows exactly what kind of movie it wants to be. Next, I watched Off Campus Season 1. I usually stay away from shows like this because they are nowhere near my usual taste, but there was something weirdly addictive about this one. I consider shows like these as a palate cleanser with all the stuff I usually end up watching. And yes, I think I'm officially in love with Mika now. And according to sources, if Season 2 is centered around her, then I'm damn excited for it.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Next, I watched Glory Season 1. A genuine attempt at creating something different, and I respect that. But at times, it felt like Bloodhounds with extra supporting cast to make it slightly complex. The storyline also became fairly predictable, especially with the female protagonist's arc, which I liked, not gonna lie.
औरत का चक्कर बाबू भैया औरत का चक्कर बहुत बेकार होता है.
The cliffhanger ending clearly pointed towards a Season 2, so now we wait and pretend we are not curious.
Okay.
Next, I watched Normal. Did not expect it to be so good. The biggest standout for me was the color grading. especially during the fight sequences where everything looked insanely stylish. It adds so much personality to scenes that could have otherwise felt ordinary. Highly recommend if you want something that quietly surprises you. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. And if you like this video, then do subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.